all your foes. We are God!
Warning, Papa Zaku is a trained professional idiot. Do not take everything he says serious. Or do. I'm not your dad! Welcome back to another episode of WeRGod.fm. I am your host as always, Papa Zaku, and it's good to see us back. Now, I wasn't going to make this episode yet, but I feel like I've skimmed over it a few times in other videos and all that. So I thought I would touch a bit harder on this. Now, this is something I believe for a while. I tell myself this all the time. I try and tell others all the time, and it feels like it's slowly getting there, but I feel like I need to repeat it more. And I felt, what better than to actually record myself saying it so that I don't end up becoming a broken record constantly. I can just send people a link to this video, you know? Shut the fuck up. Watch this. Now, what I want to talk about is very, very important. I feel like a lot of people have heard it, but no one practices it fully yet. And that is, get out of your fucking head! You see, a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people forget that your biggest enemy, your number one enemy is you. And then people also, when you try and talk to them, because a lot of people don't like to be psychoanalyzed, you know? People don't like you to tell them what's wrong with them. Because then they try and get in their head more, and they try and come up with defenses, and they get on the defense of, oh no, actually, I'm not like that, you're wrong, blah, blah, and they try and defend themselves. And really, everyone is like that. Everyone has issues, everyone has problems, and especially, I've noticed it more in cultures and people and communities and groups where there is a lot of people that are very similar, but then everyone wants to feel special. Everyone wants to be more, you know? And someone like myself, like, I get you're probably looking at me thinking, oh, this is just another white male talking, but that's where you're wrong, you know? 'Cause I'm not just some white straight male, and even then, if I was a white straight male, fucking some white straight males have valid points. But that's the thing, that with me being very light-skinned as I am, I've been categorized into a lot of groups. And I've been talking a lot recently to a few friends about how I don't feel like I belong anywhere fully, you know? Like, you got people that get categorized into things, like you got your punk rockers in one category and all people that are like that and very hardcore and stuff. And then you got your LGBT community over there, which is very like, yeah, and there's a whole fucking spectrum in that of itself. And then you have your ethnic communities and your people that are all different races and stuff. And then you have your whites and your this and your that, and there's all these different categories, right? I could sit here and go on about them for ages, but I'm just painting a rough picture so you guys can picture what I'm saying. And for myself, being so diverse in so many things, where I float on the fence of things from the LGBT community to the more punk rock and heavy communities and all those type of things, to my ethnic communities. But again, you don't really know until you know, until I sit there and I explain, oh, I'm actually European, I'm actually Romanian Italian, I'm not a full-blood Aussie. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, you know? But people like to categorize and blame other people for their issues and for their things, instead of realizing that it's them. And they need to get out of their head and just live, you know? Because no race is against you, no culture is against you, no community is against you. It's just you being against you. And that's an issue that I feel like not enough people see, you know? For example, when I was living in Sydney 5 years ago, 6 years ago now actually, crazy to think about, I remember I was on the bus with one of my Muslim friends, and this old Aussie lady came up to him because he was speaking on the phone to his mum, and he was speaking in his like native language because his mum is English as a second language. This Aussie lady comes up to him and starts spitting on him and being like, go back to your own country, don't speak that here, blah, blah. And then she turns to me and she's like, oh, so disappointed that another one of us is being brainwashed by this community. But little does she know, I'm ethnic too, you know? But that's besides the point. It's the fact that people get in their heads and they think they know everything and that they're so right on things. But that's, to be right, you need to realize that you're wrong. And that you could be wrong about everything. And that's what makes it, you know? So many people get in their heads about feelings and emotion and love and all this stuff. When really, if you just took a step back, stop thinking about all the little things, and just allow yourself to be the human that you are, you'll realize how much better life is. Life can be so brilliant when you just stop it. When you just realize that people are people and people are awesome, you know? I had a friend a while ago tell me that he believes that, like, true love is real, but he believes that you can only love people within your group. You know, so if you're from one culture and you're dating something, that's not going to work, because he believes that people are always going to go back to what they're comfortable with. But I don't think that's necessarily true. I believe people are always trying to find new things to expand themselves. Like myself, I'm like a shark, is like how I like to see myself. I'll always be swimming forward. I'm always looking for new things, new experiences, learning from my old mistakes and finding better, more beautiful people and things to attach myself to. Because why would I want to attach myself to old toxic traits that I've seen within myself and stuff, when there's beautiful minds out there which I can learn more from, and I'm getting better, you know? And it's regardless of culture, race, gender, sexuality, whatever, you know? But everyone wants to categorize these things and get in their heads about, oh, this is why it's like that and this is why it's like that. But really, no. The moment we get out of our heads and realize that we're all just humans being human, and we've all been through the same things, even if you haven't been through a situation yet, you're going to. And it might not be exactly the same as what I've been through or something, but you're going to go through something. Everyone's been through things, you know? For example, I've been mugged when I was in grade 7, and then that made my outlook on life a lot different. I had to always be looking over my shoulder, I had to think. But then I had other friends who didn't have that happen to them until they were much older, so they had a lot more of a carefree young adulthood, not realizing about the things. Then when they got mugged in their like 20s, it's shaken them up. They've gone through a lot more recent trauma because they're having to realize all these things, and then they're uncomfortable. They don't want to go out anymore, even though they used to be the biggest social butterflies, just like myself. They're too scared and they get too in their brains. But that's just a natural thing, you know, and it does take time, and due to trauma and bad experiences, we do have these issues. But that's something that you as a person need to work out. You need to, whether it's therapy or self-reflecting or meditation, that's something that you need to work out, because no one else can help you with that. And that's something that I've realized as well recently, because as someone who has came a long way, I do find myself helping out a lot of my homies. But sometimes you can't really help them fully out unless they want to be helped, you know? Because that's the thing, you can help them all the way, and then they'll still, like, you could sit there and think, okay, we just had the greatest fucking chat ever. Like, this guy gets it, you know? You can feel like perfect. But then they'll turn back around and then they'll fuck up like the next day or a few hours later. And that's on them. That's not on you. You've done everything in your ability to help them, and you can still try and help them, but then they gotta help themselves, you know? And it's a so many way streets, because you're trying to help their street and they're caring about other people's streets, and then that's where it all becomes thing. But the moment people stop caring about everyone in every moment and only care for people in the moments they need to care for them, things will get so much more calm and relaxing. Because everyone feels like they need to care about everyone's feelings 24/7 and they can't do anything bad. But really, fuck that. Care about yourself only. And then when you are with those people who you care about in that moment, focus on them. Be there for them, you know? Another perfect example, as you guys might have told, the main reason I do these videos and shit is because I don't know how to shut the fuck up. So it is a bit of a diary entry for me, so I can just vent what my word brains and all that are saying. But even I know when to read a room and be quiet, you know. I went out to this thing recently, not going to throw it under the bus or anything, but yeah, I went to a chateau. If you know, you know. If not, fucking Google exists. But yeah, I went to that, and it's such an interesting experience. And the whole time when I'm at those type of things, or when I'm at something that's out of my comfort zone to a degree, yeah, I still know how to communicate and I'm still an extrovert, but at the same time, I know when to be quiet, because I'd much rather listen to other people. Because yeah, at the end of the day, I'm a god of my own universe, and I know what I'm talking about almost all the time. But I'm not the only god, because what are we? We are God. We are God. And there are so many gods. And so when I'm in elements of other places, I would rather allow that God to have the power and have the floor, because I'm still learning so that I can become the most powerful God of my own universe. But to be the most powerful God of your own universe, you got to know when to listen to people. And trust me, I have some friends that fucking don't know how to do that. I have some mates and some family members that just always like to hear the sound of their own voice and always ramble on and always think. And you could try and help them. You could give them the best advice ever. But they're not going to hear it because they're too busy blah, 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 blah. But it's the moment that you sit there, you breathe, and you do take in other people's things, and you realize, hang on, this person gets me. And then they might not fully get me, but they get me enough to then make you be able to self-reflect on yourself. And it is a process. Like I said in the last video, it's a climb, you know? And we're all trying to get there. But the best way to get there is by learning you need to get the fuck out of your head! Now, I'm gonna kind of leave it on that note there because I feel like that's all I can really say on this video. Probably gonna expand on it more in other videos, but I felt like I really needed to let everyone know to get the fuck out of your head! But yeah, on that note, I've been your host as always, Papa Zaku. Much love. Make sure to like, subscribe, and all that jazz. And I'll be seeing you on the tripod next time. Peace and love, motherfuckers.
I'm fucking tripping hard. No one can explain to me the feelings going on. I'm feeling pretty fucked. Feeling pretty fucked. Feeling pretty fucked. Fucked.